Hello, brothers and sisters. Today I'm reading Proverbs and I got inspired to record this video to warn some of you brothers of women that you should absolutely not marry. Okay, so I wanted to, before I bring up the number one red flag or the sign that you shouldn't marry this woman, is that in Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 6:24, it says that to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Sign number one that you shouldn't marry this woman is that she is a smooth talker. She uses language to manipulate you, and you don't even feel manipulated. Okay, maybe you feel it, but you almost intoxicated by her words, by her compliment, by her flattery. She knew your weakness, okay? She keep flattering you. She see through that you are insecure. You need her words to boost your confidence. And be very careful about this type of woman because you are not that good, okay? She can depict you like you're the best man in the world, but are you really that? If her word is way too exaggerated and you're far from being that superhero, you better be careful about this woman. There's a reason that she flatter like that. It could be that she wants your money if you do have money. If she doesn't want your money, then she could be just simply evil. And she could be an adulteress. She may already marry and she's here flattering you. Now the second sign, she has close guy friend. So a woman that have male friend, it depends on how close they are, okay? If they barely contact each other and they barely, go out with each other one-on-one, it's just a male friend, that they gather with a group of people, or that's different. But if she has close male friend, that's not okay. And usually in this situation, she's gonna gaslight you, okay? She's gonna gaslight you that there's nothing between them. Let me tell you what is the dynamic between a woman who has a very close male friend who is not gay. So usually is because this guy like her, like he has a romantic interest in her, but she doesn't has the same feeling. But she is so insecure, so she keeps him, this male friend, as a plan B, just in case. She needs this male friend to prove that she is attractive. And sign number three is that she has too many girlfriends. Too many girlfriends. It's a huge red flag. Guys, let me tell you this. If you get married to a woman and she can invite 15, even 10 bridesmaids, you probably should reconsider if you want to marry her or not, because a real woman, a woman of God, is not gonna have over 10, even 5 close girlfriend. When I say close girlfriend, I mean that she frequently hangs out with them and they often celebrate everything together. If she has over 5, I would say that is already a red flag. And what is the biggest red flag is that you don't like her friends. If there is something dramatic, something going on there, for some reason you just hate her girlfriend. I don't care are they close or not, that is a huge red flag. And it's the same for girls. If you don't like the guy you're dating, you don't like his male friend, you don't like his you don't like his buddy, especially if you hate them, if they are disrespectful, if they always go to the wrong place, like nightclub and all of that, that is a huge red flag. Can two walk together unless they agree, right? So your girlfriend or your boyfriend might act like, oh, I know, they're just like that. They might even, talk bad about their friends just because they know that you hate them. So they will act like, yeah, I knew, right? They're gonna be like that. They're gonna act like they're on your side. They're gonna act like they don't really like that friend that much. But why do they keep hanging out with them? There's some part of their character that aligns or agree with that friend that you hate. And that will be a problem that is almost like an evil seed in this person's character. And one day it will sprout. One day it will bear bad fruit, okay? If they hang out with friends you hate, okay, that is a big red flag. So I want to move on to sign number 4. That is, this girl posts a lot of selfies on social media. I wouldn't say that this girl is, absolutely unmarriable, but at least, for the very best, she is immature. She could still have that teenager mindset going on in her. But for the very worst, that she is an attention seeker. Why women post selfie? They are trying to post selfie to get attention, to get validation, to get likes on social media. And usually a married woman, a happily married woman, is not gonna post selfie. If she posts picture, it's gonna be her and her husband. It's gonna be her family photo. It's not gonna just be her alone and a selfie. If you marry someone and she start posting selfie, be very careful. She's ready to cheat on you. And for a single woman, it makes sense that they post selfie because they are looking for a mate. But if this girl, her Instagram or whatever is full of selfies, that is a big red flag. That this girl have some self-esteem work to do inside of her. And she's not ready for marriage yet. Sign number 5. This is the type I learned it from TikTok a few years ago. It's called pickup girl. So I think what that means is that this girl always trying to distinguish themselves from other women to show that how different they are. Like, oh, I'm not like the other girls. The other girls like shopping, but I like football, whatever. Things like that. I'm not saying, women who like football are pickup girls, okay? Now, the real red flag in this type of woman is that they always talk bad about other women. So you might find it funny, and because our sinful nature, our ears are always open to gossip. Even if you're a guy, you might enjoy listening to your girlfriend talking bad about other women and gossip about other women. And she's always judging other women. She always, by judging, I'm saying like she will read so much into a woman's dressing, a woman's outfit, a woman's, external behavior, and then judge the other woman's character. So what's the problem of this type of girl is that she sees the same sex other woman as her enemies and her threat, even though those women have nothing to do with you. So it doesn't mean that they're jealous for you. It doesn't mean that the woman they talk bad about flirt with you or something. They just generally has a negative attitude towards other women, that she sees them, this could be subconscious, as competitors, as enemy and threat. She is highly insecure, and insecurity will cause a lot of trouble if you want to spend the rest of your life with a person, whether that is a man or a woman. If you sense insecurity, I wouldn't say that's absolute red flag, but that person has a lot of self-esteem work to do in them. Okay, sign number 6 is she can't cook. Okay, if you are a chef, just forget about what I just said. Okay, if you're a chef and you enjoy cooking, you're a guy who loves cooking so much and you don't mind be the only one in your family cooking for the rest of your life, this doesn't apply to you. I'm speaking to most of the brothers, is that if this woman cannot cook at all, except putting ramens in microwave or putting sandwich in microwave, and she doesn't want to learn cooking, she have absolutely no interest in elevating her cooking skill, don't marry her. The problem of that is that it's about life. I'm not saying your life is gonna be miserable marrying a woman who can't cook, because maybe if you guys are rich, you could just keep going out to restaurant. She doesn't need to cook at all, or you can hire a cook. The problem is that a woman who can't cook, even if you spend the rest of your life with her, there will always something be lacking there. You will not feel home that much, if that makes sense. Imagine that your wife is cooking in the kitchen and baking something, whatever, and you're sitting at a bar and chatting with her. You could be doing some work, and you could be watching a sports or whatever, reading a book, and you just chat with her as she is cooking. If you want that kind of life, that homey, warm family life, then don't marry a woman who can't cook, because she's not gonna give you what you desire. And especially when you guys get old, you gotta know that marriage is for life. You might feel fun with a woman who can't cook, but when you guys get old and she has no physical beauty, and at the same time she doesn't have this homemaker's warmth, your life will be so dry with her. So don't marry a woman who can't cook. Okay, sign number 7, this is huge, is that she dishonor her parent. I don't care that how shitty her parent is. I don't care if her parent mistreated her, if her parent are drug addict. As long as she dishonor them, that's a problem. Okay, because dishonoring parent breaks God's commandment, first of all. And imagine if she dishonor her parent, very likely she's gonna dishonor your parent. And if your parent gets sick, your parent needs somebody to take care of in their old age, your wife is gonna be the one who is against it. Your wife will blame you for spending so much money on taking care of your parent. She will try to get rid of them. Okay, just honoring your parent is God's commandment. So if you can't do that, it is a sin. Another thing, this is gonna be controversial, but I want to be real, because I'm recording this video as I'm speaking to my sons, that don't bring this kind of woman to my house, and I'm never gonna recognize them as my daughter-in-law. So I'm gonna be real with you. Don't marry a woman who grew up in a terrible family. I know this is offensive, but this is my Chinese opinion, okay? This is how Chinese people think. And I want to just bring it up and you guys can take it or leave it. So in Chinese people's perspective, a woman who is born in a terrible family has absolutely no hope. But a man who is born in a terrible family have the chance to change his life. You guys can think on that, okay? So I would not let my son to marry a woman whose parents are drug addicts. And, ideally, she grow up in a double parent. Both her mom and dad are present, as she grow up. So that would be ideal. Even better if her parents are people that deserve respect. Okay. Sign number 8. This woman has some kind of thing that I would call Pet-mania. She's crazy for animal protection, go to the extreme. That's what I mean. Okay. So what are the signs that girls are like this? Usually they be very careful to be with girls who have more than 2 dogs, more than 2 cats, more than 2 anything, any pet. And on top of that, if they don't want children and they have a lot of pets and they cherish animal right more than human right, run. You don't want to marry her. Sign number 9 is that they have a very unhealthy lifestyle. What is an unhealthy lifestyle? Her room or her living place is messy, is dirty, is unorganized. Her laundry, her dirty clothes is all over in the closet. Like she never organized her closet, she never make her bed. On top of that, she is very, have no self-discipline. She has no routine. So if you're a guy who is very routine, you have self-control, and you live with this woman, you marry her, it will damage your own self-control. And especially if you're a man who decided that fasting, whether that's intermittent fasting for fitness or that is fasting for spiritual growth, becomes your lifestyle, don't marry a woman who is unwilling to fast, who can't fast, because it will hurt your fasting. It will hurt, your resolution about fasting. And, let alone if this woman hates physical exercise of any sort, cardio or weightlifting, she just hates it. Don't marry her because she is 100% gonna gain weight. She will be completely let go of herself and become, very unattractive in her physical appearance. So don't have this thought in your mind that that's fine. I can bring her to the gym. I can encourage her to work out more once we get married. Don't do that. If she hates physical exercise and she can't even change that before she marry you, she's definitely not gonna change that after she gets you. Okay? So don't marry a woman who has unhealthy lifestyle. Smoker, no. Heavy drinker, no. Trash food addict, she just can't help eating trash food. No. All I'm saying is that you are a high caliber man. Okay, you have a high requirement for yourself. Then absolutely avoid this type of woman. Don't marry them. Sign number 10 is that it's mostly focused on lust. Okay, so first of all, she talks bad about her ex. She acts like a victim and everything, about her ex is terrible. you might feel flattered. You might even feel happy when she say that, because now you feel like you're so much better than her ex. But a woman that talk bad about her ex, usually she is the problem of that breakup. Because if she's not even gonna talk about it. So another thing about lust problem in women is that, so women are very vulnerable in ears, and men are very vulnerable in the eyes. So men are very visual, right? For women, I would say if this guy has a wandering eyes, don't marry him. For men, I would say if this woman is very vulnerable to flattery, and she can't say no, and she lose her boundary every time, as long as somebody flatter her, this woman has a potential for cheating. On top of that, if she happens to be a porn addict, she's absolutely gonna cheat. As long as she'll go to a bar, some guy speaks something nice and sweet to her, she will give her body to that man 100%. So be very careful. A woman who has no boundary, who is very vulnerable to flattery, and that's usually because she's very insecure. Now, number 11, you met her in the wrong place. So guys, this is your fault completely. Why do you go to nightclub to pick girls? What good girl is gonna go to nightclubs? Nobody. I can tell you, I never even been to a nightclub. And there are girls like me. Maybe they've been there once or twice because of peer pressure when they're young. But if you met a girl at a nightclub, and that's obviously not her first time there, and you got this crazy lust going on in your mind that you want to marry this girl you pick up from a nightclub, you have a lot of self-work to do in you. First of all, why do you even go to a nightclub? You know, the Bible says flee from sexual immorality. You shouldn't go to a nightclub and resist temptation. You shouldn't even go to a place like that. So in Proverbs 7, I want, all of you, I don't know if you're a believer or not, Proverbs 7 vividly depict a guy who intentionally passed by an adulterous corner. Why did he choose that route to pass by her house? Because this guy wants to give in to temptation, because he wants to sin, because he wants to commit adultery with this woman who has a husband. So don't go to places like nightclub, strip club, whatever. Just don't go there, because you can't resist sexual temptation. That's how God built man, even woman. It's something that our human nature, our sinful nature, our flesh cannot resist. Our only choice in front of lust, in front of sexual temptation, is to flee from it. Sign 12. This one is huge. And I gotta tell you that even if you met this girl in the church, she's a Christian woman, doesn't mean that she doesn't have this sign. I want to warn you guys about this type of woman. You should absolutely avoid them if you don't want the rest of your life miserable. Okay, so sign number 12 is negative. She just generally negative. Her view about life is negative. Her view about everything that happened is negative. She's whining about everything. She always complains. She got this victim mindset, okay? And she is ungrateful for what you do for her. She can always see problems. She can always see something she can pick on. Okay, and that is what the Bible call a contentious woman. So Proverbs said, I think it repeated at least 3 times, that it's better to live in the corner of a roof, under a roof, than to live in the house of a contentious woman. And a contentious woman is like a constant leaking in the roof. So you don't want to marry a woman who is negative, who has absolutely no control over her emotion. And don't listen to a woman who tell you, and you shouldn't say this to any woman as well, because that is actually sexism. You shouldn't say to a woman who is angry that, are you having a period? Okay, don't say that, because that shouldn't be an excuse for that woman to say, and it shouldn't be an insult for you to say. Period is not an excuse. That's something a woman can work on. A hormone imbalance, that's something she can be healed from. Okay, and another thing is that this woman always sees something is wrong. She has no eyes for beauty. She's not seeking for beauty, but seeking for problem. For example, if you take her out for dinner and it was, the food takes a long time to get on the table, and if she goes off at a waitress, avoid this woman, because that is gonna be your life for the rest of your life. So it's very important to be with a woman who has a positive view about life. Like if the food is late, she can joke about it. She's and you feel embarrassed for letting her have a bad experience for dinner, and she can joke about it. She can make you feel better. And if there's a car accident happen and you guys get caught in the traffic jam, and she can say something like, well, maybe this delays because God is protecting us from a huge disaster or something. Like, she can always see something positive. That is the type of woman you want. Don't be with a woman who is always negative. And of course, if you are the negative person, work on yourself on that as well. Okay, number 13 is that she considered her career over her family. So usually if this woman needs, let's say if she needs to relocate because of her work, but your whole family, is based in a certain city and your kids all go to this amazing school, but she think her career is more important, and then she might move. And at that point, it will be a lot of headache. And sometimes you might want a child, and she consider that about her career. She doesn't want to hurt her career. She refused to have more children. Okay? So if her career is way more important than family, do not marry a woman like that. She's way too independent. So sign number 14 is that she had absolutely nothing going on in her own life. She has no dreams, no hobbies, no purpose, no goal. And guys, be very careful when it talks about habit. Okay? A lot of women, when they're dating you, they're gonna act like they have habit. They're gonna be like, oh, I go to yoga class. Oh, I dance, I don't know, all kinds of habit that girls can do just to impress a guy, and the English writer and playwright, I think, George Bernard Shaw, he said that a guy's marry a girl who can play the piano, and imagine that after they get married, he can hear the piano every day, and then that woman never played the piano ever since they got married. Because why would she need the bait since she already got the fish? So be very careful about a girl who told you she has hobby. Okay, she has some passion. That a lot of girls' passion are fake passion. Number 15. It's gonna offend some people, but I'm just gonna say it. So don't marry a woman who is poorly educated. It's okay if a guy was not properly educated, because a man can be successful in a lot of ways, but a woman, if she is poorly educated, she usually have no class, no taste about life, about anything. And so a woman that is poorly educated, either she came from a terrible family or she has low intelligence. And let me tell you this, I learned this from medical school. So the DNA or the genes that decide your IQ is on X chromosome. So if you marry this woman who has low intelligence and you guys give birth to a son, then this son's chromosome is gonna be XY, right? And that X is gonna be come from his mother. I don't care how smart you are as a man. If you marry, hopefully she has a pretty face, but if she only has a pretty face and you guys have a son, your son is gonna squander all your money, all the property you live for him, because he's gonna be stupid. And this is part of the Chinese wisdom, is that we never tell our boys to marry stupid women, because stupid women give birth to stupid son. A woman's intelligence decide her son's intelligence, not the father. Okay, so sign number 16 is that she's lazy. She eat the bread of idleness according to scripture. So how can you tell if a person is lazy? I would say that if she is happier doing nothing than being productive, then her nature is being lazy. He become poor that deal with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent make rich. So a woman that is lazy, she is gonna be your liability, not your asset. Number 17. This is huge. Is that you have no peace around her. What that means is that it's always gonna be some kind of conflict, some kind of drama, and you gotta make sure that you are not the person who is the argumentative guy, okay? Let's say if you're a guy who is not argumentative and you're 100% sure you're not the problem, and every time you being with this woman, she just give you no peace, her words or everything about her is not uplifting, she just low frequency, you can't marry her. So what kind of woman you should be marrying? You should be marry a woman that makes you feel you can conquer the whole world. You should marry a woman that you feel you can accomplish anything with her. So nothing and no problem is the end of the world as long as you're with her. That's the woman you should marry. That's the woman you should aim for. And if you met her, don't let her go, because then you will be the, you're gonna be the butt of the joke. So sign number 18. She is more excited for wedding than to being your wife. So I'm not suggesting you guys to test a woman, if she's okay having no wedding or a very simple wedding. But you can tell, okay? Don't gaslight yourself. You can tell that if this woman cares more about wedding or she cares more about building a family and a legacy with you. Number 19 is that her opinions on raising the children or about, having children are foolish. So what that mean? If she's the kind of woman who is overly protective about her children, like she wants to solve every problem for the children instead of teaching them how to solve problem, chances are this woman will raise weak sons. She will neuter her sons without her knowing it. I think I probably shared this about a woman I know in the church. Like, her son have some conflict with the other boy, and her son ended up don't want to go to school, and this woman just called the teacher and tell them to separate her son with the other boy. And her teacher actually refused it, because she think the boys should continue to work together, because that's not even a bully. It's just the other boys are very competitive, and that threatened her son. So her son don't even want to go to school because of that. But she persists, and at last the teacher agreed, and so her son no longer sit at the same table with that very competitive boy. And she was sharing that to the women's group as if she has the victory over the teacher. That is completely foolish. You don't want your son has a mother like that, okay? And another thing about children is that children will be her priority instead of you. So marriage is above children. If her children is more important than you, chances are she doesn't love you. I just want to be very honest. She doesn't love you enough. Chances are she married you because her clock, because she want to have children, or because peer pressure, everybody she knew get married and she want a wedding. Sign 20. What kind of woman you shouldn't marry? Is this woman is unkind? I probably should put this in the first sign, but I don't think, there are some guys, they're so broken and they like toxic women. They like mean women. So you're seeking for your own tragedy in life. You need to fix your brokenness first. So I'm speaking to healthy men, okay? Men who is high caliber, okay? You don't want to marry a mean woman. You don't want to marry a woman who is defensive 24/7, who can't take a joke, who is easily offended, has no sense of humor, who is on edge and is always tense. And she's always gonna trying to teach you or correct you when you joke about something that is politically incorrect. So you can't be friends with that woman. Don't be fooled by her sexual attractiveness. Your life is gonna be miserable if you marry her, because sexual attraction doesn't last forever. It probably only lasts for 2 years at most. So sign 21 is that she won't follow you. What does that mean? You guys remember in Genesis, Rebecca and Isaac. So when Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for his son Isaac, Rebecca is willing to follow Isaac. She's willing to move to Isaac's house and leave her father and mother. So I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you have a career and you are based in a certain city and you met this girl. You guys do some kind of remote dating for a while. but she's not willing to move to your city, even though she has absolutely no solid reason to stay where she is, but she just wants you to move there, as if to prove that you love her more by that way. So that woman is not your wife. And there are 3 reasons that a woman is not willing to follow you. Number 1, she is not a submissive woman. And that is a huge red flag. So the Bible said, wives, submit to your husband as unto the Lord. A woman that is not submissive, the marriage will be dysfunctional. And second reason she is not willing to follow you is that she doesn't love you enough. And you shouldn't marry a woman like that. A woman that loves you will follow you. And the last reason is that you are unreliable. Okay? Is that this woman don't feel secure enough to give up what she have in her place to follow you. That you haven't proved yourself yet. So in this case, it's your problem. It's not her problem. So you guys might need to take a little bit more time to build trust and before you move on. Okay. Sign 22 is that this woman has no sense about money. Marriage is a business. Finance will be, I don't know, probably 50% of your topic is gonna be budget, it's gonna be finance, it's gonna be saving, it's gonna be retirement plan, it's gonna be bill, It could be exciting if you marry someone who is financially literate, who knows and who is excited about making money instead of spending money, okay? So if this woman is a squanderer, like she just, every time she got money, she buys shoes, she buy purse, and at the same time, she's stingy, she's cheap. Like to other people, she's very stingy, she never donate, she never give to her church or some community. But at the same time, she's a squanderer. That's a huge red flag. And another thing is like, she have no saving, or she don't have the habit of saving, and she also is not interested in investing or whatever. So even though you might be a guy who, is, how to make money, but it's gonna be a headache if you marry a woman who has no sense about money. Because she, like what I mentioned from the beginning, she's not gonna be an asset that added to your business, that added to your net worth. She is gonna be a liability. And her beauty is gonna fade very soon. And after that, how are you guys gonna, spend the rest of your life together if you cannot talk about money at the same frequency with the same wisdom and knowledge, right? At least you need to have the desire to learn. Okay, so all those 22 signs are my very honest advice to young men out there who is looking for a wife, who is dating with someone and thinking that potentially to marry this woman. I speak out of this, out of love, and I want to make sure that my sons are not going to bring some woman that, got me to swept and out of my house. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and leave a comment to let me know if you have experienced any of these red flags, or if any of this speak to you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and help more people. Okay, God bless you all. Peace.